Welcome to today's news wrap up. Let's dive right into the top stories making headlines today. Senator John Kennedy made waves during a Fox News town hall by delivering a sharp witted remark about Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. He humorously compared her to a common household product, implying that her presence necessitates basic instructions. His comments drew laughter from other Republican senators and host Sean Hannity. Kennedy then shared the GOP's approach to handling AOC, dubbing it Operation Let Her Speak, suggesting that giving her a platform could expose her positions without interference. Um, the exchange highlighted ongoing political tensions between conservative leaders and progressive figures in Congress. Many supporters viewed Kennedy's statement as a clever jab, while critics dismissed it as unnecessary attack, of course. Two federal judges have temporarily blocked the deportation of Venezuelan nationals accused of being members of the Tren de Agua uh, gang. A judge in Texas issued a restraining order preventing their removal until further court decisions, while a New York judge similarly halted the deportation of two individuals. These rulings follow a Supreme Court decision allowing deportations under the Alien Enemies Act, but requiring reasonable notice for detainees to challenge their removal. The case has sparked debates over judicial review and the balance between national security and individual rights. Legal experts are closely watching how these proceedings unfold because it makes no sense. I mean, the Supreme Court already made its ruling. President Trump has praised tariffs on Chinese goods. I'm sorry, has raised tariffs on Chinese goods to 125%, citing China's disregard for global markets. The decision follows Beijing move to increase tariffs on American products from 34% to 84% in response to an earlier 104% US tariff. Trump also announced a temporary reduction of tariffs to 10% for more than 75 countries, emphasizing their willingness to negotiate trade policies without retaliation. The policy shift led to a surge in the stock market, with Trump encouraging investors to buy in during the announcement. Officials from Commerce, Treasury, and the U.S. Trade Representative's Office have been engaging with foreign governments on trade barriers and currency manipulation. China has yet to respond publicly to the latest tariff increase. But of course, the mainstream media is selling it like it's a bad thing that this is happening, that they're actually coming to the table to renegotiate these unfair trade agreements that were going on with us in other countries. And it's a wonderful thing. You see the stock market booming because of it, and Democrats, the only thing they got is they try to say this is some type of market manipulation or what have you. When Trump said hang in there when the stock market was going down, he was telling people to hang in there, don't sell your stuff, to hang in there, things are going to get better. So what is he talking about? He told all Americans to hang in there. But Democrats, they're going to continue. They're never going to give credit when's credit due. When it comes to Trump, they're only going to blame. Leaked documents suggest that members of the Venezuelan criminal organization Tren de Agua have been infiltrating the United States with the support of the Maduro regime. These individuals reportedly traveled through multiple countries before entering the U.S. illegally, where they are placed in safe houses across 20 cities. The documents describe TDA as more than just a gang, alleging that it functions as a paramilitary wing of Venezuelan communist government. Um, Intelligence officers associated with the group are said to be trained in sabotage, espionage, and social conflict, aiming to destabilize democratic nations, including the U.S. Remember when that one guy, where he was going online, basically telling people, telling people how to sneak in the country and how to get money and all this stuff. We end up shipping him back. Well, he actually was an intelligence officer, so we know that this stuff is true. The critics argue that the Biden administration's open border policies have facilitated the entry of these operatives, enabling them to expand their influence. The revelation has intensified debates on national security and immigration policies. The Trump administration has reinstated the Victims of Immigration Crime Engagement, or VOICE office, which had been shut down early in President Biden's term. Homeland Security, Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem emphasized that the office aims to support families affected by crimes committed by undocumented migrants. VOICE provides resources such as guidance on the immigration enforcement process, access to custody status updates, and victim impact statement submissions. Several individuals known as angel parents joined Noem at the event, sharing personal tragedies involving family members lost to violent crimes committed by undocumented migrants. Advocates argue that the revival of this office underscores a commitment to stricter immigration enforcement and ensuring justice for victims and their families. The head of the World Economic Forum, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, has warned that another deadly pandemic is inevitable and could emerge at any moment. Here they go, fear mongering again. They want that money. They know that the U.S. is pulling back funds from the WHO. They're having to do all these cuts and stuff. So of course they're going to fear monger with another pandemic, right? He urged governments to invest in health security and finalize the WHO's Global Pandemic Treaty. There it is, which would grant the organization expanded authority during future health crises. Who would want to give these people power? These are the same people that told us lockdowns are great. The treaty would allow WHO to declare emergencies and enforce lockdowns, including potential restrictions related to climate concerns. Tedros emphasized that pandemic preparedness is essential, comparing the investment in health security to military defense spending. So what would happen if they say, oh, there's a pandemic of global warming? We need to take away your sovereignty. So if we need more money and we need to take away your sovereignty, you need to go back on lockdown, but this time it's for the climate. Well, we will have no say in that if we sign this treaty. But meanwhile, the U.S. government has proposed a historic $1 trillion defense budget, and the European Union plans to mobilize $8 billion for military expansion. Former health officials, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, have also voiced concern, predicting that a new respiratory disease outbreak could occur soon. Of course, we trust Anthony Fauci, right? But these warnings have reignited debates on global health governance and government spending priorities. Harley-Davidson CEO Jochen Dietz has announced his resignation following a period of declining sales, which some attribute to his support for diversity and environmental policies. And I would say that's absolutely the reason why. I mean, Harley-Davidson has become the punching bag. They were the new Miller Lite. You know, they were the they were the bikes for gay people all of a sudden, and they turned off a lot of people that really used to love Harley Davidson because of their stances. It's ridiculous. Under his leadership, the company implemented various diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, which were later rolled back as criticism mounted. Activists allege that Harley Davidson funded events promoting LGBTQ causes and enforced employees training programs on Ally Ship, sparked backlash among longtime customers. Dietz also pushed for an all-electric transition for Harley Davidson motorcycles. That's just so ridiculous. They would do that. Like Harley Davidson riders will want an electric vehicle. Are you for real? Earning himself the nickname Sustainable Taliban due to his environmental advocacy. His departure comes as the company seeks to regain its footing and refocus on its traditional market. They should have never done this in the first place. Some customers argue that the brand should prioritize its legacy rather than ideological pursuits. Well, we'll see if they learn their lesson. Sarah Wynne Williams, a former Facebook executive, testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee, accusing Meta of undermining U.S. national security by secretly collaborating with China on artificial intelligence efforts. She argued that company leaders misled employees, shareholders, and Congress about their actions, prioritizing business expansion in China over American interests. Someone should be arrested for this. This is crazy. Wynne Williams also claimed that Meta deleted the Facebook account of a Chinese dissident living in the U.S. under pressure from Beijing. Crazy. But this is par for the course. We know Facebook do things like this for regimes. Her book, Careless People, which detailed these allegations, sold 60,000 copies in its first week, despite Meta's attempt to discredit her claims. Senator Richard Blumenthal denounced Meta's reported campaign to silence her, describing it as intimidation. Meta responded by rejecting her testimony as false, insisting that it has no active operations in China. Yeah, right. The hearing comes days before Meta's antitrust trial, which could result in the forced divestiture of Instagram and WhatsApp. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep y'all posted on that. Lastly, the Trump administration plans to fine undocumented immigrants $998 per day if they do not comply with deportation orders. This is wild. I did not see this happening. Officials are relying on a 1996 law that was previously unenforced, allowing fines to be applied retroactively for up to 5 years, potentially surpassing $1 million per person. Wow. And this is a law that's actually on the books. So they might could go before a judge or what have you, but it's been on the books since 1996. The Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has been personally involved in enforcement efforts, joining federal agents in recent immigration raids. A government flyer encourages self-deportation, stating that individuals who leave voluntarily can retain their earnings and may qualify for subsidized travel. Those who fail to comply risk immediate apprehension, additional fines, and restrictions on future legal entry into the U.S. The administration argues that this approach will strengthen border security and deter illegal immigration. Well, that's all for today's news wrap up. Stay tuned for more updates and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for the latest in news. Until next time.